Hello collectors, welcome to Collection Connections Top 5. This week's Top 5 is going to feature the top 5 Wolverine comics of all time. These are based on purely on what I think the top 5 Wolverine comics are to me, so feel free to yell at me below. But these are books that I feel are vital in the mythology, the history of one of my favorite Marvel characters, the Wolverine. So, without further ado, this is going to be number 5. It is Uncanny X-Men 133. This is the book where Wolverine goes first goes berserker barrage on the minions of the Hellfire Club. All of the X-Men have been captured, and Wolverine shows us why he is the best at what he does as he takes out these creatures. Or these, not creatures, but the minions of the Hellfire Club. So, the art was great. Chris Claremont, John Byrne. The best team, in my opinion, all time of X-Men books. Which in and of itself is a little bit controversial. But as we're looking here, we can see Wolverine on the ceiling, drops in, and just proceeds to slice and dice the Hellfire Club. He even does his "Do you feel lucky, punk?" Version, which was pulled off pretty cool in the Wolverine cartoons, or not the Wolverine, but the X-Men cartoons in the 90s. The dialogue from those cartoons, at least for this episode with the Hellfire Club, were almost verbatim. So it's classic. I really like it. Even it was like they used the comic book as the storyboard for the cartoon on this one. So this is great Wolverine story, and it's the first one where he goes fully berserk, and all the X-Men are captured, and he goes fully berserk and saves everybody. So great book, and it's all part of the Dark Phoenix mythos and storyline. Okay, number 4, Uncanny X-Men 212 through 213. The first time that Wolverine and Sabretooth are fighting. Sabretooth, Victor Creed, Wolverine's nemesis and adversary. He was originally created about 10 years before this, and actually came out in Iron Fist number 14, which was also written by Chris Claremont. But they had a hard time getting their mythos to jive to where they can get them both clashing in a comic book together. But once they were able to pull it off, it was amazing. And then this was the beginning of what they did with Project X or Project 10 and a bunch of other features, and tying it in with eventually Captain America and Deadpool and a bunch of other things that they did with the Project X. But the first time we get to see Wolverine fight with his arch nemesis Sabretooth is in these storylines between the Uncanny X-Men 212 and 213. Number 3 is the first series of Wolverine Volume 1, 4 issues, written by Chris Claremont, with pencils by the legendary Frank Miller, and inks by Joe Rubinstein, letters by Tom Orzechowski, and colors by Glynis Wein. It was published from September to December of '82, and it covers the events leading up to Wolverine's engagement to Mariko Yashida, a fictional character that appears in comic books published by Marvel Comic Books as Wolverine's romantic interest. Great story. One of the original storylines where Wolverine goes off into Japan, and it was a lot of fun, and the art was amazing. Anytime Frank Miller's involved, you're gonna have a good time. This leads us to number 2 on the all-time top 5 Wolverine books, Giant Size X-Men number 1. This book, it's a relaunching of the X-Men, who had taken a 5-year hiatus in the Marvel Universe. And during that time, they were running between 1970 and 1975 reruns of the X-Men comics at that point. So the the X-Men characters were still being written in as side characters and other, like Beast in the Avengers, for example. But the world was still going on as the X-Men were running in reruns, and they wanted to reintroduce the X-Men to the mainstream, and they wanted to do it in a grandiose fashion. So they did it with Giant Size X-Men #1. It's almost a trade paperback. It's a thick book, and it's got a bunch of international heroes, including Wolverine's second full appearance. It's also the first appearance of Storm, Colossus, Nightcrawler, and Thunderbird. This international team helped relaunch X-Men into the mainstream, written by Len Wein and illustrated by Dave Cockrum. And they had a small run on it until it was passed to the legendary team of Chris Claremont and John Byrne. So, Giant Size X-Men, #2 all-time most important Wolverine books. Before we finish this off, I want to do some honorable mentions of some Wolverine books that didn't make the top 5 list, but I think we're pretty close to making it. The first one is going to be Hulk 180. That's the first cameo appearance of Wolverine, and that was released in '74 as well. Followed by Old Man Logan. It's a great alternative storyline of Wolverine and him turning old and just what happens to the superheroes in the future. The heroes die, the villains win, and he's going through with Hawkeye and dealing with the Hulk and a bunch of other cool things happen in Old Man Logan. If you get a chance, check it out. It's a great story. Our third honorable mention is Wolverine Origins, and you get to see, just peel back the curtain a bit and see a little bit of deeper into who Wolverine is. So I do think that's the beginning of the end for Wolverine's mystery. I did like it when I was a kid that you don't always know who he is and where he comes from, because he has amnesia about certain things, and he goes to Professor Xavier to help him just get his head straight and reclaim who he is, reclaim his humanity. That leads us, finally, with the honorable mentions out of the way, that leads us to #1 of the top 5 Wolverine comics, Hulk 181, the first appearance of Wolverine. It's a great book. The Hulk is in the forest fighting the Wendigo, and Wolverine is sent to take him out. It's a little bit complicated. He was created by Marvel editor-in-chief Roy Thomas and writer Len Wein, and his costume was designed by John Romita Sr., but Herb Trimpe was the first one to draw him in a printed form that was released in the comics. So, if you do get some Wolverine things you want to get signed by Romita Sr., now's your chance to do it. Some of us missed that chance with Herb Trimpe and with the late great Len Wein. So if you get a chance, don't miss out on Romita Sr. If you get a chance, get that signature on your Wolverine books. I hope you enjoyed the top 5 Wolverine comics. This is a little bit more loosey-goosey than I've traditionally done with these, but I seem like I come off a little bit stiff when I'm reading my scripts. So if you get a chance, like, subscribe, and share. We've got other shows. Comic Cave Let's Go, where we review comic books on the weekly. Talk about all of our new favorite books that come out on the same day that they come out. So catch our show in the morning before you go pick up your books on Wednesday. And you can go in there with a fresh mind and a fresh perspective. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our video to anybody you might like to know about top 5 tips on how to collect comics, price comics. We're going to be coming out with a bunch of different top 5s. So if you get a chance, check us out and subscribe to Collection Connection. Until next time, I'm the host, Nate the Great, and we'll see you next top 5.